I always thought I'd have a choice, that you'd be the one to follow my voice. But you won't talk back, and your face is blank. Now I'm getting mad, 'cause you won't react. Now I can't recall your love. If I could, I'd no longer stumble. I wanna move on, babe, but here is the trouble. Well, you won't react to me, and you won't fight back for me, no. Like we didn't mean anything, like this love was all pretend. But you won't react to me, react to me, react to me, no. So my new EP just was released last week, self-titled Magenta Harley EP. I have been working on this for 2 years now, and it has been a labor of love. It started off with an unsuccessful Kickstarter campaign, but we got so close to our goal that I decided to try it again. And so we moved over to Indiegogo, where no matter what you made, you could still walk with the money, but we made our goal. And it's a really taking my pop sensibility, because I grew up doing a lot of pop music, and merging it with my love of soul and blues. So it's a very horn-heavy, fun, sassy record, and I love it. It's my baby. My career started, I mean, I'd always been singing, but I think it started to take off when I was actually working as a receptionist at a record label in Australia for Sony BMG. And one of a guy that was waiting for my boss, he was kept waiting for 45 minutes, so we just started chatting. And from wanting to be professional, I didn't tell him that I was a singer. But after 40 minutes, he's like, so what do you do outside of here? I'm like, well, I'm a singer. So we got talking, and he found out my name, which my full name is Magenta Harley. And he's like, well, with a name like that, you need to be a star. And so we kind of just got talking. Turns out with one of the producers that he managed, I had already worked with. So he put us together, and I was signed not long after that. And that's, I guess, the first real step in my career. I'd done lots of shows and everything, but that was my first deal, and my first foray into the entertainment industry. So this is exciting. I just got told about a competition a couple of weeks ago, the day before the final auditions. And it is in West Hollywood at a place called Bar 10. The event's called Off the Strip. They had it last year. It was very successful. Sponsored by Breakers, and the winner receives $5,000 and some studio time, which is both wonderful things. I would always love studio time, and I need to buy a car, so $5,000 is great. So basically, I've made it through the first 2 weeks. And it goes by decade, so every week is a different decade, and the audience votes on, when they're there, they vote on who they want to go through to the following week. So far we've had, the first week was our own choice of song, the second week was the 1960s, and this coming week is the past decade. So far I've had a lot of fun, and I'm excited. My favorite song on the EP is Do Me Right, just because I love to sing it and I love to perform it. It's a really, really fun song to get sassy with. But my favorite song to listen to is Exactly, which is the first track on the record, because it is such a different kind of beat and groove to it. And and just has a, in my opinion, has a great message of like being a strong woman and telling someone, whether it's another woman or a man or parents or a boss or whatever, let me tell you exactly how I feel, and not being fearful of being meek. So that one's my favorite to listen to. If I was to choose between performing live and being in the studio, live every single time. I love performing live. I get so stressed in the studio. I'm a very happy, fun-loving person. I laugh a lot. I'm super goofy. And you get me in the studio and I'm not a diva, but I am just like, I get cranky and irritated. It's like constant PMS. So it's, I definitely loved performing live, because that's, you know, singing is such a release for me, and such a, it's like it's a mind, body, soul thing for me. So singing makes me feel better, and especially when I can share it with someone else and get the feedback and the vibe from the audience. Live performance, 100%. My influences start from, well, anywhere from the 20s to the 60s, but Aretha Franklin is my idol. She's everything. But I actually don't gravitate towards the big, like, Respect and Chain of Fools. I don't gravitate towards that so much. I love her, like, jazz to soul records. Some of her older, less well-known stuff, I absolutely could take those records to a desert island and be happy for the rest of my life. I also grew up listening, so the first cassette tape that I ever had was Patsy Cline, Greatest Hits. That was the first record I knew every single word to and sang into a banana when I was like a little kid. It was wonderful. And then my second record was Otis Redding, Greatest Hits. And then from there I discovered Aretha, and it just went on from there. Blues, jazz, and soul. So yeah, definitely the big singers. Etta James is another big one. Irma Thomas. I just love that era. I get a very varied response when people try and tell me who I sound like. So I get like Aretha Franklin crossed with Fiona Apple. I get that a lot for some reason. I'm not really, well, I guess I kind of get it. I get a lot of the big singers, so like Adele when I'm doing more soft, soulful, like slower songs. I get Alicia Keys, which is all so extremely flattering, because these are all artists that I look up to so much, and they're so talented. So that's amazing, and I'm kind of a little bit baffled, but I will go with it. The career I would like to see myself having would be to have a really strong core fan base that allows me to tour consistently and gives me the freedom to just make records consistently. I would love to travel the world singing. So that is the career that I am focusing towards. I also write a lot of music, so I see myself doing a lot of co-write, songwriting, things for other artists. I'm really interested in writing for other artists because that's such a fun, creative process. I think also I'd really like to focus on film and television placement to really get myself out there a little bit more and get a little bit of financial stability from that, hopefully, and then that would allow me to tour. So these are the things that I'm looking forward to in the future. One word to describe myself is just ridiculous. I would say flawed. I'm flawed. Perfectly imperfect. That's 2 words. That's 2 words. Flawed. I want to explain that, but you said just 1 word. I would say flawed because of so many reasons. We're all human, we're all flawed, and I find a lot of strength from discovering what I'm not good at or what I struggle with, and that's such an inspiration for me for songwriting. It also helps me understand music because everybody is performing. Music is really about a universal language, and I think that we can all relate to not feeling or either feeling amazing and like we're everything and we're so good, and then also on the flip side feeling like we're never good enough. And so I think that helps me understand other songs, and it helps me be a songwriter as well. Social media has changed the game. It is difficult. I find it, I feel very self-absorbed. I feel sometimes I just want to stop thinking about myself, but it's my job to promote myself constantly. So on social media and this new day and age, that is how you get known, how you basically portray yourself to the world, and everything's online these days. So I struggle with it a little bit because I feel like I'm turning into a bit of a narcissist. But it's the name of the game, and you got to be in it to win it. So I'm trying. If I had to describe the EP in 1 word, I would say sassy. The first song is called Exactly, and I'm going to tell someone exactly what they need to do to understand me. The second song is Do Me Right, so I'm telling someone, you better do me right or I'm leaving. There's another song called React to Me. It's like, you won't react to me. And so I'm like, go a little about attitude, so I definitely say sassy. So as a musician, I have the wonderful day job of being a waitress. I am here to serve you. And I'm lucky enough to work in a place that is really flexible with hours and lets me do my shows, gigs. Is wonderful. But I cannot wait to get out of this and be doing music full time. Though I would say that I think everybody at some point in their life should be a server, because you learn a lot about how to interact with people, and I think it teaches you a lot. So yeah, definitely gives you a little bit of a backbone, because you deal with all kinds of people at all hours and all ratios of drunkenness. So there's that. I think there's a huge difference from when I started in the music industry. I think a little bit of that is my evolution and my perception of the industry, as well as me learning and actually going through the process of working in the industry. So when I was young, I was quite insecure, and I found that I was being told a lot about how I should look and what I should wear and what my weight should be, that I being told about that I'm too old or too young, or I find that was a lot more common when I first started. Now I don't know if my self-esteem and the way that I conduct myself is a little bit stronger and more solid now, but I've also I think the day and age of social media is really helping people, encouraging people to be exactly who they are. And there are artists like Lady Gaga that it really goes above and beyond to embrace every kind of person and human being, and not because they fit one mold, which is what I was being pushed into when I was younger. So I definitely feel like there's a difference, some positive, some negative. My advice to someone starting out in the industry would be, don't take yourself too seriously. Also, don't take anyone else too seriously. People are going to promise you the world, and go with your gut. There will always be another opportunity. Always. Consistency and persistence is key, and be nice. That would be my one thing. I have gotten so many shows and so many gigs over the years from someone that I haven't seen in 4 years, but they remember me and think of me and go, she was so, like, she was very pleasant and I know she can sing, so let's contact her. And so yeah, it's a few different things, but yeah, don't take yourself too seriously, trust your gut, be courteous, and be true to who you are. That's really all that matters, in my opinion. I know one idea, I know one ideal, I know one reason, like nature. I'm all seasons, I'm complicated, I'm strong and impatient, don't wanna scare you off, baby, just educate you. Cause if you want my loving, baby, well, you got to do me right, and if you want my loving, baby, well, you got to read me, 'cause